What's up, guys? BriarRabbit here, and today I want to talk about MLG Anaheim. What I saw, it was amazing. What I learned, that was also amazing. So check it out after the break. I'll be right back. Before we begin, I just wanted to talk about the gameplay just a little bit. So this gameplay isn't the best KD or most impressive gameplay that I've ever put on the channel, but what it was a game against the most annoying group of camping snipers that I've ever run across in my entire life. And it was so satisfying, spoiler, to beat these guys that I had to put it up on the channel. So I had a ton of fun playing this one, and I hope you have a ton of fun watching it. What this video is really about is MLG Anaheim. I absolutely loved watching that yesterday. I watched a little bit on Friday and a little bit less on Saturday, but I watched a great deal of it on Sunday. I got to watch the Optic matches, both of them. I got to watch Impact versus Complexity, the first one, and then the final Complexity versus Impact was, I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing to watch. Now, I don't have a deep perspective of like all the best Call of Duty matches of all time, but what I saw yesterday was pretty damn impressive. So let me talk about what happened. So this Complexity versus Icons game, it was really amazing to watch. I mean, it was stunning. They started off and it was a regular Call of Duty match, but then they came up into this TDM on standoff. I'm sorry, not TDM, Capture the Flag on standoff. And it was the most hard-fought battle of Capture the Flag, played by absolute expert players who knew what they were doing and had strategy as a team. It was truly a stunning match. It went into, I believe, triple overtime and was finally won by a Complexity player diving the enemy flag into their base while a Hellstorm missile was raining down upon him. If the Hellstorm missile was just a moment earlier, it would have killed him before he could get there, probably mid-dive. But it literally, as the animation was finishing, the Hellstorm missile ended. Oh, it was really amazing, and that moment really seemed to hurt Impact, because after that they played a hardpoint match on Slums, and Complexity went off. I mean, they just murdered them. Especially Aches. I want to say he went like 30-10 or 30-15 in that game, which is amazing against like super good players that you're going to get in an MLG match. It was a super impressive victory. And after seeing such a tight match in that TDM match, it was a game changer. It absolutely, you could see that Impact, their backs were broken. The game was over, and the final game of the series was a search and destroy on Meltdown, and you could see that Impact just couldn't get anything going. It was a Complexity's game all the way. It was hugely impressive. I can't underestimate how good the play was, especially in the Capture the Flag. It was intense. So as I was watching, I noticed a ton of stuff that these guys were doing all the time that I could definitely incorporate into my play to make myself a better Call of Duty player. And that ultimately is why I started this channel, is because I want to be a better Call of Duty player. I thought that as a community we could do that together, and watching these guys play, the jump shot came really quick. It became readily apparent that this is a major tactic that these guys are using that I don't incorporate hardly at all. If you guys are already doing this, then you're a step ahead of me, but I'll do it occasionally when I think about it. But these guys, it's instinctual. It's every time that they go around a corner where there might be somebody, they are jumping, and it works. It is so much harder to hit a jumping target than it is to hit somebody who's just rounding the target on their feet. When you're running the target on your feet, your chest and your head are right at gun level. When you jump around a corner, your feet and your legs are at gun level, and it's much harder to hit those dangly little legs than it is to hit the chest or the head. And it works, and these guys know it works, so they use it all the time, and it's definitely something that I want to start incorporating into my game to help myself become a better Call of Duty player. Another thing I noticed was these guys have so much patience, it is ridiculous. When I see an open flag, I jump on it. When I have a kill streak, I use it. These guys are not like that. They have strategy for these things, and they use that strategy, and they have the patience to make it effective. It was really impressive. There were multiple times where guys had kill streaks at the end of a search and destroy round. They could have probably ended that round by running in to the fight, but they decided, well, I'm going to hold back and use that score streak for the next round. I mean, to watch it and to have the explanation of the codcasters explain it, it made sense, you know, and the patience that these guys were exhibiting in a Major League Gaming forum, it was impressive. It's not something that I'm good at, and I definitely have to improve at that part of the game. Now, another thing I was really impressed by with how they were working it. I don't know how easy or hard it would be to incorporate this into the game, but they were able to control spawns, especially in Hardpoint. I noticed this, but they did it in a lot of game types. But especially in Hardpoint, they were able to control spawns so well. It was almost as important as controlling the hardpoint itself, because they knew that by trying to hold the hardpoint, they're gonna die. It's, you know, they're not magic. They're gonna die just like anybody else. But what they did is they not only controlled the hardpoint, but they controlled the spawn closest to the hardpoint, so that when they did die, they could get back to that hardpoint faster than the other team. I first noticed that while I was watching Optic. Even though they lost, they showed some pretty high level play, especially in hardpoint, and I was pretty impressed by that. But the level of just map knowledge in that was pretty impressive. So overall, I was pretty happy with the MLG coverage of the event. I would have liked a little more in-depth strategy by the announcers. I think that you have such a small audience for MLG Call of Duty, and I think that they're pretty hardcore, so I think they can handle strategy. I think that would be okay. But I was really impressed by the coverage overall. I thought the announcers did pretty well. They were pretty professional. There were some long gaps with like kind of nothing happening. They just play a little bit of music while they were waiting for players to set up and all that. But that's to be expected. It was just being broadcast over Twitch, and Twitch had no hangups for me. It was getting broadcast at 720p. I was pretty impressed by the whole event. I thought MLG did a really wonderful job. I think Call of Duty Black Ops 2 really holds up well to competitive play. If you looked at the players, there were players using every weapon type: shotguns, LMGs, snipers, submachine guns, assault rifles. If that is not a compliment toward Call of Duty Black Ops weapon balance, I don't know how else you could talk about it. I mean, there's players in a final using everything. Impact was even using riot shield, so I thought it was pretty impressive stuff. So that's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You know, it really helps me out. Up on the screen are a couple of videos you might have missed. Vengeance DLC on the left-hand side, and will your old gaming headset work on the new consoles? That's a whole video I did about that, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.